kids.com. And if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do it so that you don't miss any of my videos. So without any delay, let's get started. And today we are gonna learn about the useReducer hook in React. So we are today gonna learn about the useReducer hook in React, and this is gonna be very interesting. So without any delay, let's get started. Damn. Okay, so if I run this, we'll learn this. I'll just do video. It's Saion. Apple.co. It's loading. And we are gonna learn about the useReducer hook with just a simple to-do application. So this to-do application marks it, deletes, edits, and adds, right? And this is a very interesting to-do application also, and we are going to learn about the useReducer hook through this to-do application, so I can't stop myself from starting. So basically what the useReducer hook is, the useReducer hook is just like useState, right? So it is just like useState, but we can give custom state logic, meaning that we can say whenever the state's value changes, what method should be run and what should be done, right? So we can through useReducer give our own state custom logic, right? So first of all, we are importing React, useReducer, and React DOM, right? So as usual, but we are importing useReducer, the hook, right? And then we are creating an initial to-dos array in which we have this is an array of objects. Every object has ID, title, and complete. So complete is basically represented if that item has been completed, if that to-do has been completed. Title represents what to-do it is, and ID represents on what ID it is, which to-do it is, right? What to-do number does it have? And then we are creating a variable x equals to 2. Now we'll start. This is a custom state reducer logic. We'll just see this afterwards. First of all, we'll go into our to-dos, basically component, right? And this is our to-dos component definition. After defining this, we are just executing it using React DOM.render, right? And in this, what we are doing basically constant to-dos dispatch. So we are creating a state using the useReducer hook and giving it reducer. So this method will be called, right, whenever our state changes, and initial to-do. So this is our default value for our to-dos variable, right? And over here we are creating a handle complete method. We'll see this afterwards. And what we are doing, we are returning. Let's go into the return value. And in this we are returning a fragment, right? So we have a fragment over here, and then in it we have a input tag type text id input, right? So it's type text and id input, and then what we are doing, we are creating button, and whenever it will be clicked, this arrow function will be called, where it is calling dispatch. So through dispatch our reducer method will be called, right? So we are passing dispatch an object, right? So we are passing dispatch an object, right? So that is our action, right? That is our action object. So what dispatch will do now, it will basically pass this basically reducer method our action object, that is this, and our state, sorry, our state, the first parameter will be our state, and the second parameter will be this action object. And in this action object we have type add input equals document dot get element by id input dot value. Whatever input value we entered and press the button, that value goes to our basically this method, right? Basically it goes in an object to this method over here, reducer. So it has a state, that is basically a to do state, and then it has our action object, that is basically this object right now. Okay, and in this what we are doing, we are checking if action dot type. So every action object that we pass will have a type attribute, so we are switching on it and checking that what action dot type really is. So over here it is add, so it will go in the case add, right? And in this what it is doing, it is incrementing our variable x that we created, x plus plus, and then what is it is doing, it is returning our state. So it is adding all our states elements. Basically a state, basically we are basically spreading our state values over here. So we are spreading our two objects, and then what we are doing, we are adding a third one, right? And in that id is x, so basically we are keeping track of x so that we can give an id, right? So to give an id, to mention an id, we are keeping track of a variable x, in which we are keeping track for every basically item. And then we are doing title is action dot input. So whatever action we got, it had an input property, so the title of our to do will be that, and its completed is false, so by default it will be false completed. So now this return array that we give is now our new value for our to do state, right? So now this is our new value for our to do state. That's why we needed to spread all our items that were there already in to do. Else if we just did like this, then what it would have done, it would have set a new array with just this item, right? And that we didn't want. We wanted all the previous items with a new item. So now because of this, we can add items of any value, right? Next, in a return, when we are returning, we are doing to map. So on every item in our to do's state, it is an array. That's why we are able to call the map method, and we are getting every item as to do in this arrow function. And we are doing diff key to do.id. So the React is basically I have taught the key prop maybe in, I don't remember, but it must be in forms or something. But this key prop is just so that React can keep track, right? This is just for something like React keeping track and all. And then in this, what we have a label, right? And in which we have a input tag, right? And that is type checkbox. So this is checkbox, right? This is a checkbox, and then it is check to do complete. So whatever to do's complete status will be, that will be the check value. And whenever this will be changed, we are calling handle complete method and passing it our to do. Our to do is an object, right? And one of the objects in our array, right? So in handle complete, what we are doing, we are calling dispatch and giving it type complete and giving id to do.id. So dispatch is basically first of all passing the state, the to do state, and then it is passing this action object, right? So let's see now. It is switching on action dot type, so it is complete. So it will go in case complete, and this will return state dot map. So it will map on our state, right? So whatever state we get, it will map on it. And for every to do, it is checking that if to do's id is actions id. So the to do id we are checking on is equals to the action id. It will be only equals to when when we it will be only equals to like when we had given a check to that to do, then it will be equals to. So like we are checking that if this to do was completed or uncompleted, right? then then we will return dot 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 to do. So we are spreading all spreading all our basically we are just spreading all our items, right? So we are spreading all our key value pairs in our to do, and what we are doing, we are overriding the complete property of it, and we are doing not to do or complete. So whatever the status of complete was, we are just reversing that status, right? Else we are just returning our to do, right? So else we are just returning our to do if we don't find any to do.id equals action.id, right? So this is what it is doing over here, and it is returning all the basically objects, right? So over here what we are doing, it is basically over here whenever it is completed, it changes the status of one of the objects that we have checked, that like whoever whichever object matches, that object is overridden with this object right over here, right? And this was for complete. And then what we are doing, we are adding a span saying which to do it was, and we are adding its titles to show what to do we are basically about to put an action on. And then what we are doing, we are creating a button, and whenever this will be clicked, this arrow function will be called, and in this arrow function we are just calling dispatch and passing in an object that is our action object, and it has type delete and id is to_id, right? And this is basically first of all passing a state and then our action object, and it is just switching on action to type and checking for delete, and it will go in the delete case, and it is just returning state.filter, so it will filter on a state, right? And for every to do, what it will do, it is checking that if to do.id is not equals to action.id, then return to do. So if we are just creating basically what this will do, state.filter will create a new array, right? And whatever we will keep on returning, that will keep on adding to our basically array that filter will create. So what we are doing, we are checking that if whenever we are deleting, right, we don't want it to add, we don't. So over here what was happening, guys, over here also what is happening is map was also creating a new array, and whatever we were returning, that was added to that new array. And then when that new array, whole new array was returned, then to do's the state to do's value was basically changed, right? So first what I explained was kind of wrong. Over here what in complete it is just doing, it is state.map is creating a new array, right? And every item we are returning, that is coming in on new array, and in the end our new array is returned. And when it is returned, our new state value, that is the new to do's value, will be that new array returned. And over here what we are doing, we are checking if to do.id is not equals to action.id. So if we don't want to delete the item, uh, this is not the deleting item, then we are just returning to do. So we are just keeping that. If we don't want to delete that item, then we're just keeping it in a new array, right? And if it is the same, then it will not keep it in a new array. So in a new array we will have all the items instead of the one we deleted. So if I delete it, it is keeping all the items instead of the one deleted. So it is, there was only this item left, so that's why it kept this, and the other one was not kept in a new array and it was deleted. And finally we are giving an button to edit also, and um, basically over here we are calling dispatch and just giving it type edit and giving it id to do.id, right? And dispatch will first pass state and then action, and over here in this we are switching on action.type, and the type is now edit, and in edit what we are doing, we are returning state.map. So this will create a new array for us. For every to do, what we are doing, we are checking if to do.id is equals to action.id. So if the to do is the one, the current to do we are looping on is the one that we want to basically edit, then we are creating a variable t prompt, enter a new value, so the user will enter a new value and that will be stored in T. If the user entered nothing or cancelled, then it will just return uh, sorry, if the user entered nothing and cancels, then it will just return whatever initial basically whatever to do object was there, right? Whatever to do object was there, right? So it will just return that, so that will come in a new array. But if it wasn't null, then it will return whatever was there and the new title for our tool, right? So a T is a new value for our title, and it is just overriding the title because it is occurring two times. So it is keeping the one that is afterwards, the occurrence that is afterwards. So it is taking the occurrence at the end. So this is the one that is the end occurrence, right? So it will set title to T, so the title will change and this will be added to a new array, right? And if basically todo.id is not the one, this todo is not the one that we want to edit, we'll just keep the todo as it is. So now in our new array we have all the as it is todos plus an edited one, and that new array has been returned, and basically that is the new value for our todo state, right? And this was just a simple to do application, very simple. And basically useReducer was also a very simple hook. It was basically not at all like uh, like uh, like hard to understand. It was quite easy to understand, and through this to do example it made it much more easier. So thank you guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. Thank you guys, bye, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep watching my videos. Damn!